What's up guys, today I'm going over some of the antagonist type characters that are most likely to have the most spotlight in Hazbin Hotel Season 2, talking about their motivations and what potential storylines could unfold with them due to said motivations, as well as factoring in the current state of Hell's Pride Ring within Hazbin after the end of Season 1. Lilith Morningstar was set up to have a pivotal role in Season 2 in Season 1's finale, being revealed to have been living in heaven for the past 7 years, and now being told directly by Lute that she'll have to go back down to Hell to ruin Charlie's dream of the hotel becoming more successful if she wants to keep her cozy heavenly lifestyle. Her current goals are unclear due to her lack of screen time and the show intentionally shrouding a lot of her character in mystery. However, I've taken the stance on it being rooted in either greed or fear. The greed path lies in her no longer having faith in her own people that were inspired by her songs, whether that be because of the exterminations or some other outlying factor, so she struck a deal with Adam or potentially some other angel. I still think it's Adam though, to be completely barred from getting exterminated and just have a generally more comfortable environment to reside in, that of course being heaven. The fear path is one where Lilith was too scared of the repercussions of the exterminations becoming a thing. Charlie did state in episode 5 that her dad was the one responsible for allowing the exterminations to happen, but I'm sure Lilith had just as big of a part in it. Her songs were the reason the demons started to liberate themselves in the first place, and that fear of liberation was specifically outlined by Sarah when she was trying to justify the exterminations to Emily as a twisted way to protect heaven from any kind of future harm.
They were uprising, Emily. It is my position as the head seraphim to protect our people at all costs.
So this could have led to Lilith going to heaven due to being too scared or not wanting to directly deal with the idea of her people getting essentially slaughtered for sport once a year. Bottom line, no matter what path she took, it feels like there is some selfishness at play, even if it's just a little. So she's obviously going down there in Season 2, having some speaking roles, all that good stuff, but because she is Charlie's mom and clearly did have an actual positive influence at some point for Hell, I don't think she's going to stay opposing Charlie's dreams until the bitter end or something. It's probably going to be a Serpentious kind of situation where she's trying to sabotage things at first, but Charlie's going to find out. The two of them have a talk about what actually led Lilith to do this, / why she was in heaven for 7 years. Then the two of them will resolve the issue fully through song. That's more or less been Hazbin's bread and butter for conflict resolve for Season 1, so Season 2 will more than likely follow the same suit. I'll give this conflict 2 to 3 episodes tops, but it would be interesting if it somehow goes further. That's being generous though, because Lucifer's whole thing of being depressed and not having the will to dream bigger was a looming issue for literal centuries, and that got resolved in the span of 1 episode, so it'd be surprising if the Lilith stuff took longer. But at the same time, some of the other specifics could be not happening until Season 3 based on what Viv said in an interview about the upcoming content.
Why is she there? And those are kind of questions that are going to, we're slowly going to start getting answers to over the course of the next couple seasons.
The best way for her to last longer in the story in terms of ongoing conflict, in my opinion, is if her potential deal with Alistair is still an issue after she and Charlie reconcile. No way of knowing for sure, but it wouldn't surprise me if the deal Alistair made with Charlie is what allows him to get out of his deal with Lilith, Eve, Rue, or whoever you want to believe it's with, which could set him up to play into more of an antagonistic role. This guy definitely has some kind of plan brewing for when he's able to get out of his deal. Also, I know it's probably not fair to fully label someone like Lilith as a villain due to her moral ambiguity right now, but villain sounded better for a video title than antagonist. I'm definitely curious what Alistair could be planning specifically once he gets out of his deal too. It seems like most people are leaning towards the idea of him just taking over as the head honcho of the hotel. An understandable outcome to think of, because if we're being real here, Alistair is very similar to Lilith in the sense of their moral code or plans are in a bit of a gray area even with Season 1 done. We still don't really know much of what's going on with him or why he does the things he does. Lute's role in Season 2 may not be as big as Season 1 since we're currently under the idea the exterminations aren't going to happen anymore, but I'm sure she's going to pop up a bit throughout Season 2 as a villain. She's the reason Lilith is going back to Hell trying to mess things up for Charlie, so perhaps once Charlie and Lilith make up, Lute will be promptly dealt with after that fact. It could be cool if Lilith was the one to deal with her once all the dust is settled, maybe we can see what kind of power she has. Charlie is of course an option too, and even though Lute sort of acted like a foil to Vaggie in Season 1, Vaggie already got her revenge on Lute, so I don't think she'd need to be intervening to the point where they have a one-on-one fight again. There's also still the option of Lute as well as even Adam becoming demons and eventually residents at the Hazbin Hotel. Charlie being able to turn those two, of all people, into better people would kind of be the ultimate win for the hotel's redemption program. If they can be redeemed, then it could work on anybody. Also want to bring in the possibility of Sarah's role as an antagonist in Season 2. If Season 2 wants to bring some more focus into Emily and Sir Pentious' characters, that is, with Sir Pentious now being living proof the hotel works, and Sarah not looking too thrilled with that fact. Perhaps Pentious and Emily will have to deal with her trying to belittle Pentious or discriminate against him for being a former Hell resident. And Sarah's been pulling the strings in selfish ways for too long, so seeing her get knocked down a peg with maybe Emily becoming the new head Seraphim could be cool. Leviathan von Eldritch is a demon who's Charlie's ex-boyfriend. If he showed up, it'd probably be as more of a joke-type villain, to be honest. Even still, it'd be nice for him to show up in some kind of capacity in Season 2. The idea of seeing he and Vaggie go at it for Charlie's affection in some, kind of shenanigan-type episode, it sounds pretty funny on paper to me. Now, for the characters that seem like they're going to take the most spotlight next season, the 3 Vs. But most importantly, Vox. The Vs had some moments in Season 1, but never felt like huge threats. Like Adam from the get-go was being set up as the big bad of Season 1, completely trashing Charlie's dream during the meeting, with the end of it revealing he and his army will be back to kill more sinners in 6 months, as opposed to the usual 1-year wait. Whereas the Vs felt more character-specific focused, with Vox being Alistair's problem, and Valentino, of course, being the person Angel Dust will need to eventually overcome. Adam and the Exorcist were a threat to everybody. So I want to see what Vox or the other two could do to become more of an issue for the main cast as a whole, or for the rest of the Pride Ring for that matter. Velvet is someone I think we really need to see more of. It's tough because she hasn't had some pre-established relationship with any of the main hotel characters like the other two, so it worries me she's going to be sidelined as a result. But hopefully that isn't the case, and maybe one of the new characters that could be introduced in Season 2 has a, pre-established connection to a current main character, and they'll have a connection to Velvet, if that makes sense. I think Criminy could be a good example of this. Perhaps she was or currently is one of Velvet's models and is being treated like garbage. It could serve as a gateway to get Husk more involved with the Vs and have a reason for him to want them to go down too. Hard to say if Valentino is going to be completely dealt with in Season 2, but I'm leaning towards maybe. Angel is the longest staying resident at the hotel still, and Season 1 had no problem sending Pentious up there at the end despite staying for less time than Angel. Assuming the show does still want him sent to heaven, getting out of Valentino's contract and potentially killing Valentino seems like it would be the perfect way to get up there. Question is Angel going to need to die a second time for this to work like it did with Pentious? Curious to see how that would play out. Vox, of course, has been flat out stated to have a more vital role in Season 2 by Viv herself.
And it's going to get into much more of his relationship with Alistair, how it kind of got there, and how, with Vox, Vox being the threat.
I'm sure we'll get to know more of it, if not the full story of what happened between he and Alistair, because it seems like they were on decent terms at one point until Alistair rejected to join his company. But it's probably not as simple as Alistair just rejecting Vox. There's probably some other specifics at play that we don't know yet. A good way for Vox to become more of a wide threat to the hotel and the Pride Ring could be through the use of his hypnotic powers and maybe shifting his tech company from more common appliances into technology-based weaponry. If this guy could make lasers or something, that would be pretty cool. If his hypno powers are actually even stronger than they've been shown so far, he could potentially mind control an entire army to destroy Alistair and the hotel once and for all. The lovely folks over at Cartoon Universe also just uploaded a video while I was in the process of working on this one, covering the idea of the Vs actually making some kind of deal with the Angels to gain more power. A Vees and Lute team up, perhaps? Considering how high the stakes have already been set with the Hotel Alliance being able to kill Adam at the end of Season 1, Season 2's finale would need to end on even higher or equal stakes as Season 1 in my opinion. Would this result in the end of all the Vs though, or just Vox? I wonder. My weird ass is most excited to see more Vox's powers in combat. I need my boy to start showing off powers like a Nell from Skypiea, if you know what I mean. One last character I want to mention is the demon known as Rue, who's only been shown through teaser drawings but has existed since 2019. Some have speculated she could be the human formerly known as Eve, which could be why she looks so demonic and a bit ancient looking. Demons have been known to go by different names sometimes once they spawn into hell too. Eve changing her name could have definitely happened. Granted, she might end up being a Season 3 threat since Viv did also refer to Rue as a looming threat in the distance, so Season 2 may be considered too early for her to show up. We'll just have to wait and see. A bit of a rambly video this week, but I still had fun nonetheless. Let me know in the comments below which villain or antagonist you're most excited to see more of once Season 2 comes out. Fingers crossed it drops in 2025. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe for more content like this in the future. But for now, I will see you guys next time. Peace out, take care, bye-bye.